Questions and comments? Question commentaire. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House Leader.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, interesting. The member started his talk by saying Canada is broken. Well, Mr. Speaker, I disagree. The Conservatives are good at bumper stickers and they're great at slogans, as clearly demonstrated by members opposite. But I can assure members opposite that Canada is not broken. All one needs to do is travel in any region of the country, and you will see individuals that are very proud to call themselves Canadians, an economy that is doing relatively well in comparison to any other country in the world, Mr. Speaker. Yet the Conservatives consistently go around and mislead people, whether it's by making the derogatory statement that Canada is broken when we know it's not, to the many different types of disinformation that they continuously pump out to please the far mega right, Mr. Speaker. My question is, when will the Conservatives start being honest with Canadians and recognize Canada for what it is, the best country in the world to call home?
The Honourable Member for Caribou Prince George.
Mr. Speaker, Canada is the best country in the world. I absolutely agree with this member. Unfortunately, under their Liberal government and this Prime Minister, over 2 million Canadians access food banks every month. More homeless Canadians, more people losing the hope and the dream of home ownership, more Canadians out of work. That is the record. More overdoses. 47,000 Canadians have lost their lives to overdose since 2016. That is the record of this government. Only a Liberal will stand up and tell you that Canadians have never had it so good, Mr. Speaker. Only a Liberal will stand up and say, you ain't seen nothing here.
Questions and comments? The Honourable Member for Calgary Centre.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, and I appreciate my colleagues' comments, and particularly his faith that we still have the best country in the world here that we're going to turn around. But I'm going to ask him what metrics he'd like to show us that show that in the 9 years this government has been in power, how much crime has risen, how much unemployment has risen, how much the economy has gone down in Canada, how much every measure that we count on here to make a great country, how much further does that have to go down before we're actually going to be below the standard, and what should be our response as politicians in this House to respond to the concerns of Canadians that see those results?
The Honourable Member for Caribou Prince George.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the comment from our colleague. Listen, Mr. Speaker, 2 million Canadians are using a food bank. More Canadians are facing homelessness. We know more Canadians are about $200 away from being bankrupt at the end of every month. Crime is up 28%, or murders are up 28%. Gang-related murders are up 78%. Assaults are up 75%. Violent crime is up 50% since this Prime Minister came to power. And I'll end with this again. Over 47,000 Canadians have lost their lives due to overdose. And what's this Prime Minister's response to that? Let's give them more free drugs. Let's enable them. Let's not get them into recovery. Let's not do everything in our power to bring our loved ones home safe and sound. This Prime Minister will have you believe that everything is fine, everything is rosy, and the reality is Canadians are suffering more in the last 9 years than ever before.